Hello friends, welcome to Modern Programming. I am Pankaj and this is part 15 of ASP.NET Core tutorial. So what is the agenda of this video? So we'll see how we can create user registration page in ASP.NET Core. Okay, so in our previous video I have done some CRUD operations in product table. In this video what I will do, I'll create the user table first and then we'll perform the user registration operation on that user table using ASP.NET Core and entity framework will use. Okay, so let me show you what I am going to achieve in this video. So first we'll see our product. See, so this is my previous tutorial where I have done this product management system, you can say inventory system, where I have just given the screen of listing the products, then we can add the new products, and also if you want to edit some things, so we can edit here. So these are the things which I have performed in my previous video. But the thing is, if you are creating any system, so that should not be open to everyone, means at least it should be secure. If you are creating any project or any software or any application which should be secured. So to make your application secure, first what we need to have, first we need to have set of users which should be registered in your application, and only those users should be able to access your main, means core system like product management. Everyone should not be able to access it. So for that what I have done, I have created a system where I have explained how we can add the user in your, means how we can register the users in your application, and then how we can log in and log out. So in this video what I will do, I will show you how we can register the user, and in my upcoming video I will show you how we can create the login page. Okay, so in this page I will show you how we can register the user. So suppose you have got one user, so you can just use the email and address and password, and then we can just register whatever we want, and just click on register. See, we have got user registered successfully. So this is how. Now if you will try to log in using this email ID and the password which I have entered, you would be able to log in it. Okay, so how we can do that? Just, and password is same, so I will just click on login. See, now I am able to log in the system. So this is the complete operation which I will perform. So let's start the coding, how we can achieve this. So first, so let me stop this application and I'll show you from scratch. So let me stop this application itself. First we need to create a table. So I have created one database called as InventoryDB where I have my product table. Now I need to create this user table. So what I will do, I'll just execute this script here. See, so this table is created. Now if I'll select the table, will not get any records, but table should be there, so we can check it here. See, we have got the table but we have not got any records. So what I will do, I will create the records using our application. So let me start my previous application which I have created. So it would be the continuation of previous part. So if you want that, you can just use that application, then only you will get the. So this is the inventory app which I have created in my previous video. So if you want to start it from scratch, so you can watch my previous videos, part 13 and part 14 of .NET Core tutorial, so you can get better understanding of this. So I have created the user table. Now what I need to do, I have to add one class. So let me create one class called as user. Now I need to create all the properties which are available in the table. So to make things faster, I have already created the properties here. So just copy, I'll copy it from here and just paste it here. Now why I am getting this error and what are these attributes? So these are data annotations, and these annotations are available in using system.component_model.data annotations. So we need to include the namespace for this. How I'm getting this shortcut? So if you will click control and dot, if you will press control dot in your keyword, so you will get the suggestions here. So just enter, so you will get this component model.data annotation added in your class. Now see, you can get it. Now what is the use of these attributes, how we can use this? So everything is explained in my previous video, which I have created for MVC, where I have explained what is data annotations in MVC. So you can get it in my MVC tutorial. Okay, so as name says, it is required attribute which enforce the user that you have to pass the name while creating the user. So this is how there are multiple attributes which we can use while creating the classes. Okay, now my user class is ready. What I need to do next? So I need to register it in our context. Okay, so let me do that. So this is a user, and this username should be same as the table name. This should be the same as table name, which I have also explained in my previous video. So please make sure that this name should be matching with the table, means physical table. So now user is registered in context. Now what is next? So first I need to create the controller. So I am going to add one controller name as account controller. So I am going to use MVC empty controller, and I'll give the name account. It will take some time. To create the controller, because it uses the scaffolding which is available in the Visual Studio, and it will generate some ready-made code for us. See, we are getting the messages also that it is generating the code. So whatever it is doing, it is showing in the message also. So it will see, it has added the account controller. Now what I need to do, I need to inject the context in account controller constructor. So what I will do, I will just create the inventory context, and I need to inject it here. So my context is available now. Now what I need to do, I need to create one action for register. So give the meaningful name registration or register. Okay, so this is the name which I have given. Now I will do one more thing. I will create HTTP post and for that I need to add one more view model, because we should not use the same class which is using for database operations. Okay, so what I will do, I will add one view model and I'll give the meaningful name register view model. And it should have only those properties which are going to be used from the UI perspective. So I'll just use only those. So see, so only these property which we are going to use in our UI. So name, email ID, password and mobile. Okay, so this is ready now. What I need to do next? So I will add it here, user registration view model or registration. See, so model is added. Now what I need to do, whatever object I will get, first I need to create the object of user table, and then I will first I need to check the whether the model is valid or not. So I will check it by using model state property dot is valid. Okay, if it's valid, then only we need to add the records in our user table. So then only we'll create the object, and then user dot name equal to model dot name. Whatever we'll get from model, we need to assign it. Similarly, we need to use this for all the properties. So what are the name, email ID, password, mobile number, and then some created by, created on. So for time being I'm just giving the name only for created by, and actually it should be the current username. So once we log in, then only we can get the current user name. So currently we have not logged in our system, so we'll not provide the current login name here. Now created on means it should take current date time, so date time dot now, and then user dot status. So it should be true only whenever we are creating the user. Okay, so our user model is ready now. What is next? So I need to just add this to our context. So user is added in our context. Now I need to save the changes. See, now we'll show the message that we have added our user successfully. So or we'll give some meaningful things, user registered successfully, something, user registered successfully. and if model is not valid, then what it will do, it will directly return the view. Okay, now what is next? I need to just add the view here. So we'll use the user view model, I mean register view model, and just select add. So it will add the view. Okay, id should not be here, so we'll remove the. Okay, so it has only the required properties which I have added in our view model. So it's done now. This back to list is not required. This is using auto means this is using scaffolding template. So we have got the ready-made code here. Now we'll use view dot message. Okay, so this is how we have got the register. Now how we can access this? So to make it accessible, what I will do, I'll just add it in our layout. So here we'll just write register, and action should be register, and controller name should be account. So to make sure the things are correct, so we'll just copy paste it from here. If there is any spelling mistake, then it will not work. Okay, so account. Now let's run the application. So in this video I'll just tell how we can register the user. So see, we have got register user here. Now let me add one name here. So I will add Pankaj Tiwari, and I'll give modern programming 2018 at gmail.com 2019 at gmail.com. And now I will put the, see, this password is naked, but it should never be naked password. So what I'll do, I'll just close it, and we need to change the type of this password. So what I will do, I will just write here type equal to password. Okay, now let's run the application and we'll see how it works. So it should, your password should never be seen from the end user. Okay, so that's why I have kept pass means the type of that field as a password, so it will not show the real password in your UI. Now see, we have got the register. Now let me keep the Pankaj Tiwari and modern programming 2019 at gmail.com. Okay, now click on create. See, if we'll that's why we have used the annotations. So we are getting that the password field is required. If you will not enter anything and you will try to click on create, you will get the error. See, every field is required here. So That's why. And why we are getting these messages? Because we have kept the annotations here. See, we have kept the required annotation here. And what is this showing? Current property name is email ID, but we are getting email in our UI. Why? Because we have set the display name here. So we can change the display name using this display property, okay, or display attribute. So now I will register the user. Password should not be displayed, so and now see, if I'll create this, see, we have got user registered successfully. Now let's check in the database whether it is registered or not. So just select from the user table and just click execute. See, we have got one record, name as Pankaj Tiwari, my email ID and password. Here we are able to see the password. This is also worst thing in your coding if you are doing like that, because we should never save our password which should be readable from anyone. It should always be encrypted or hash password. So there are multiple encryption algorithm available in the market, so you can check it in the Google for encryption. So there are multiple algorithms, by using them you can just do the encryption of your password, and then we should always save the encrypted password in your application. Okay, so this is how we can register the user. In our next video I will show you how we can create the login page and how we can maintain our current user, and then we'll see how login functionality works in ASP.NET Core using Entity Framework. Okay, I will also try to use some secure mechanism but first I will try to show you how we can get the login done. Then I will also show you how we can see that this is secure or not secure. So we'll try to analyze everything one by one. So I think I have covered everything related to this registration page. So that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and share the video and subscribe the channel for upcoming videos.